So before the break, we asked what else did the schoolboys call WPC nipples? And the answer is WPC ballsack.
Oh, Kirsty. She thought I just set her up. That wasn't actually a real question, but that is a real question with a real answer. Yes, there you go. Now, at first, though, clearly the best discussion of the day, and that is, I want your take on PC Nipples, lessons in shame. This WPC who demanded restorative justice from 4 teenage boys who called her PC Nipples behind her back. Someone, right, maybe a classmate, someone grasped on the 13-year-old lad's pupils at Purbeck School in Wareham, Dorset, and told this copper what they'd dubbed her. The boys were first sent home in disgrace and then summoned with their parents to meet WPC Nipples, alias WPC Ballsack, and a number of other interested parties, including not 1 but 2 other uniformed coppers. She then spent an hour and 40 minutes talking to the boys before getting an apology from them. One of the boys' dads has branded events a shocking waste of police time and resources and likened the meeting to using a sledgehammer to crack a nut. But is it? Maybe a stern talking to will help turn these scroats into model citizens without resorting to ASBOs or court or anything else the judiciary may throw at them. Or maybe you think WPC Nutcracker needs to toughen up and get real, Dominic.
Yeah, I'll go with the second one of that, Matthew. I think it's soppy world, soppy laws. I mean, such a sanitised world now. This is a name-calling, not even to
you start with name-calling, and the next thing you know, you're dropping fire extinguishers from high buildings, not hitting anybody.
I think that's something of a leap, to be honest. I think so too. At least 5 floors of a leap. I don't like the idea. I think our criminal system should be, as I said yesterday...
One of my friends, by the way, I just remembered, one of my friends in Kingston-upon-Thames, this is going back a few years, he spent 24 hours in a police... 12 hours in a police cell after asking a copper if he enjoyed his job.
Context is all, I think.
Context. But at least that wasn't a waste of 3 police officers' time.
That was a waste of all our money, though.
Was it? She'd been called in because there'd been a scrap in the playground, so she was called in to talk to them about it, and they obviously disrespected what she had to say on that matter to such an extent that she might as well have just been going blah, blah, blah for whatever time it took. So I think she was absolutely right to go back and say, what I say is important. Right. These guys are important too. And I think for one of the fathers...
you don't think as she came back in, she could just walk back in the room and said, I know what you're saying to me, and I'm not having it, cut it out and go, and that would be the end of it?
Kind of, yeah. She was probably
instead of running away, getting her mates to phone up and doing all this nonsense.
I think for a police officer... Shouldn't there be any embarrassment at the idea of needing that restorative justice?
I don't think she did it for that. I would love to talk to her. I suspect she did it because she thought, I went in, I gave my time to sort out a playground scrap which could have escalated, and they obviously didn't concentrate on what I said at all because they were too busy thinking up nicknames. I don't suppose she was offended.
She's been called worse. That escalates and needs the police? I mean, this didn't happen in my days.
Absolutely, we don't know the circumstances, but I do think there is a basic thing that if that was what happened, that the school should have supported her and the parents of the boys definitely should have supported her, because otherwise, what is the point of them...
If I went to a school where they'd call in a policeman or policewoman to sort out a school fight, I wouldn't want to be there anymore.
In which case, do you think in every school up and down the country where every single teacher will have a nickname and the kids here at the schools will have nicknames for this, and there won't be nice nicknames, do you think that should all be...
I don't think it's about that. I'm sure she's been called worse. I don't think they were particularly inventive.
My respect for the police diminishes by the month, I have to say. I really think this is just so laughable. It's not true. As you say, everyone has a nickname at some stage. I'm sure every teacher in that school has got a nickname. It is so over the top, the whole thing. Now, what I think you could argue, it's maybe a lack of respect for women as a gender. I can get quite excited about that and say that, actually, you know, I am just as effective a police person being a woman as these men. But then they did call the men by a nickname as well, which could have been a much simpler one than the ball sacks, I would have thought.
I really don't think it's about that. I'm sure she's been called worse.
If it's about respect, then I agree with you entirely that that individual person, that policeman, should be able there and then on that occasion to confront it, deal with it, say, come on, you're behaving so stupidly. You know, of course I've got nipples, you've got balls, so what? You know.
OK. The best bit is finding out what you have to say. So, let's find out.
OK, we have Sue on line 2.
Morning, Sue.
Good morning, Matthew. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Morning.
So, did justice prevail?
Good morning, everyone.
Oh, dear,
Morning.
this is going to be a hard one. Did justice prevail, Sue?
No, it didn't.
OK.
I'm a, recently retired teacher, and I've also served as a special police constable, so I could wear two hats here in replying to this. Firstly, had she ignored the situation, eventually these boys would have found something else to take their attention, and it would have died a death.
Yeah, they could start playing with their knives.
I've been in this situation in that I used to teach some construction lads on day release, and they used to come in and I would teach them basic English as part of their curriculum. One lunchtime, they were late coming back in. When they came in, they explained they got into a bit of trouble because one of their group had wolf whistled at a young girl assistant in a shop. Mm-hmm. So I then turned that round to explain, well, maybe that girl was sensitive and you've embarrassed her, etc. And we turn it into a bit of a learning curve.
Yeah, okay.
A life skill. Now, the point being, a few weeks later, this was like shooting yourself in the foot because I nipped out at lunchtime, went to the bank, to the hole in the wall. I'm walking back through town, and all I get is all this wolf whistling and shouting. I knew it was these lads, and so all I did was turn round, waved at them, and carried on walking. And when we got back to classroom, they came in and said, "We got you, miss, we got you." And, of course, all I did was say, yes, fair play, hold my hands up.
Brilliant,
and the thing just kind of...
Something else, Sue.
Died a death.
Something else I noticed, Sue, is at no point did you ever refer to them as construction workers. You called them construction lads and boys, but never workers. I think we can draw our own conclusions. Thank you, Sue. Let's have another.
OK, we have Olivia next on
Olivia,
line one.
good morning.
Good morning.
Was this proper justice, Olivia?
Yes, I do. I think it absolutely was proper justice. I have to say that, for people and for the parent that complained and said it was police, waste of time for the police. Well, then, if you had done your job properly in teaching your young men about respect for women and not cheating police officers like that...
Whoa, hang on, Olivia, hang on. I'm very sympathetic to what you've just said, but we don't want to live in a world where no one can have a laugh, do we? We don't want to live in a world where there are no nicknames, where we can't have a little bit of naughty disrespect there. 13-year-old boys.
Right, OK, now, what I'm saying is it starts there. I have daughters, OK, who walk down the street, who get nicknamed and called at all the time. Yeah. Hey, Starling,
listen, you're talking to someone who knows, right? I get Jeremy Kyle day in, day out. I know what it's like to be abused.
Wait a minute. If they're walking down the street, OK, and fair enough, she was very lucky that on a couple of occasions that there was a couple of police officers on a bike that pulled the guys over and told them off, OK? And she was grateful for that. I'm grateful for the police officer that did that as well. What I'm saying is that if it starts at a young age, and if they can do it to someone in uniform, then... OK,
Olivia, does it need 3 officers, uniformed officers, to do that job?
Sorry?
Does it need 3 uniformed officers,
no,
plus
not
various
necessarily
managers?
3 uniformed officers, but if it nips it in the bud, then I agree with it.
OK. So the idea of restorative justice you agree with, but you would draw the line 3 officers is a little bit heavy-handed when people get raped and murdered?
Sorry?
When people get raped and murdered, when your houses get turned over, then we can find 3 officers. No wonder the government wants to get 28,000 job losses out of the police force.
I don't know where our sense of humour's gone. When I was young and good-looking, I loved people whistling at me. I thought it was terrific. Thank you very much.
I bet it happens all the time.
It does not happen
It depends
at
on the
all.
spirit, though. It can feel like harassment, and women walking alone in the street should be able to walk without suddenly going, cheer up.
I absolutely agree, but the boys
issue.
didn't do wolf whistling. They made their comments in a classroom, behind the officer's back, not in her earshot. She had to be told by some low-life snitch.
I think it was about respect.
OK, after the ads...